whereby the Vat Zero rating can be enjoyed by locators in the economic zones until 2034. So that's one question of mine, because you mentioned, Madam Secretary, that you often dialogue with the businessmen in the eco zones, and so do I, and that's always their number one concern. So although it is in the policy of the BIR, where we have to look for the reform, it's also important that the advocacy should come from the DTI, because the business community is your client. Number two question, the bamboo industry is a very important industry, and it contributes much to sustainable development. The last time the Bamboo Industry Development Council was funded was in 2010. I was still president, imagine, I provided for that, and never more. So I think that if we agree that the bamboo industry is very important for sustainable development, then I would hope that in the budget increases that Congressman Rufus Rodriguez and I are advocating, there will be a portion there. In 2010, it was only 20 million pesos. It's really a small amount. So Bless knows about that, because you were in DTI since that time. So I think at 20 million pesos, of course, correcting for inflation should be much more now, but 20 million is better than 0 million. So I hope that we can have a little bit of this revival of that program. And then my third question is about the food hub mentioned by Congressman Rufus Rodriguez, where the first national food hub is supposed to be in Clark, and he's hoping that there will be a regional food hub for Mindanao in Cagayan de Oro. Now, that food hub was something that I have been advocating for, not as president, but when I was a congresswoman. That's why it ended up in Clark as their choice, because in my search for investments there, the food hub, the original proponent, but there are other proponents already, was French. I think there's another proponent who is Spanish. I was present at the meeting of the French food hub investor at the meeting with the highest levels of government. And they very clearly said that there has to be an investment and a risk-taking fact on the part of the national government, that they cannot do it alone. And from what I saw about the body language of the officials, they seem to say yes. And I even pointed out, that means budgetary outlay. I said that. That means, and they said yes. So so my third question is, have we really now complied with the Philippine government's commitment to give its own counterpart to that food hub? Otherwise, I think it will never happen. So 3 questions, Madam Secretary.
Thank you, President GMA, for your questions. Can I start from the third going up, because the last, okay. For the food hub, former President, we've talked about this with DA Secretary, and we agreed that he will be the one to handle this, because number one, he has more budget than DTI, so he will be the one to execute this food hub. We've spoken about this early on when I just got appointed, around 6 months. So the DA will be the one to execute this food hub, and then because this also has, aside from that, he has the budget, and he was already planning this actually. So we agreed that just one agency will do it, and all other one department will do it, will be the lead, and all other departments will be support. So that's for the food hub. And then for us, we will be establishing, in fact, in 2 months, we will be opening the MSME flagship store in the DTI office, which is around 400 square meters, where we will feature the products of the different regions that are compliant that are registered and that are ready for both local wholesale distribution and global sales also. So now we have a place where we can bring foreigners there. We can do B2B. We can also do, you can also buy retail to try it out. So they can sell locally and both globally. So that's what we're opening. And it's going to be a very, since I'm from the retail industry, more dynamic, more updated, and more globally accepted. Yes, yes, ma'am. And then, so for that, and then for the bamboo industry, ma'am, I totally agree with you. Coconut is now our star, and I think we need another star, which is the bamboo. It's a nice story to tell when we go abroad. It's something that we can push. Last year in the presidential award, may nanalo yung bamboo na naging yung wood that can be used now for flooring, can be used for furniture. So thank you, ma'am, for the suggestion. Actually, I didn't think of this, to be honest. So we will push for budget for this so that now we have a star number 2, which is aside from the coconut, we also have the bamboo. And I was just talking to a congressman from Isabela who makes now the bamboos into, because he's congressman of Kawayan, so, or mayor of Kawayan, so he made into clothing, aside from the different products that can come out of the bamboo. And of course, the first one, which is the different eco zones, I totally agree with you, ma'am, that the eco zones need to be first na it's very, parang it's clean, it's easy to be able to open businesses in the eco zone. Dapat wala siyang glitch from the DOF or from other departments. So we're working on this with Secretary Ralph Recto for this one. But of course, there's some challenges pa rin, especially for BIR and for the different, especially when another department is also part of this whole, so because for us, we give the incentives that create more can give, which we also explain to the different investors. But yes, you're correct that there are problems that we encounter regarding the DOF. So I have here DG Massimo, yeah, DG Massimo to discuss further on this, ma'am.
DG Magsino po.
Yeah. Thank you. Good morning, Secretary, Mr. Chair, Congresswoman. What has happened in the case, I'm from the Philippine Economic Zone Authority, and what has happened was that the Vat Zero rating incentives for those in the transitory, including all the registered business enterprise, is still granted to them, provided that they meet the 70-30 export to local sales. This was
Mr. Chairman, exactly. There is no 70-30 in the create nor in the create more. So what happened is that BIR is legislating. That, I worry that argument has been pointed out to them. There is no provided. I have all the transitory provisions here with me now. There is no such thing as provided 70-30. It's incumbent upon the ecozones to fight for the rights of their constituents.
Ma'am, we can discuss this again with the BIR. I can talk to them on this and I can relay to them your concerns because it seems that maybe we're not totally aware of the magnitude of this complaints also. Then I'll discuss this, ma'am, with Secretary Ralph Recto and also Commissioner Lumagi on the problems that are that these investors are encountering.
Thank you to our former president, GMA. Next in line, From the minority, Representative Iris Montes. Is she here? Wala. Okay. Ito. Since she's not here yet, from the majority, Vice Chair Dale Corvera.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really wanted to ask questions because I want to support a budget increase for DTI. Lalo na dito sa mga attached agencies and GOCCs under DTI. My question, Mr. Chair, what is specific accountability mechanism will DTI implement to guarantee that these budget increases translate into tangible economic gains and alignment with the Philippine Development Plan, assuming na may increase sa budget ng mga attached agencies at GOCCs.
Thank you, Honorable Congressman, for the question. No? For one, we during my term, I've already established also strict guide or strict mandate to make sure that the utilization rate of this budget is high, because from the utilization rate, doon natin makikita rin if the budget is being used to implement the programs. Then we also have a department that really checks on the performance of each and every functional group, as we call them. But of course, ang important dito is the utilization rate, kasi doon mo makikita talaga kung ginagamit yung funds to really push the program. So even how much we push it, but if the utilization rate is low, then that means these programs are not being pushed. And of course, we also have kasi for the MSMEs lalo, they always tend to complain also, especially if we don't give them enough opportunities or enough programs or enough time to really get the business going. So our regional offices, headed by the regional directors, they're being bombarded by complaints also by the different MSMEs in each of the regions. So pinupush talaga. Ang important is really to make sure that the procurement is being done and the utilization rates are very high.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Sa ngayon, ang pinaka-issue, ang flood control project. And the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board, operating under the SIAP, has the power to penalize contractors for violations of their license. Ang tanong ko, what budgetary allocation has been provided to PCAB SIAP to fulfill its regulatory and enforcement functions? At ang amount ito, sufficient ba?
That's a good question, Honorable Congressman. No? Yeah, SIAP and PCAB is under DTI, and we give the license for the different contractors, whether they're the regular contractors or the AAA or quadruple A, based on the different guidelines set by the PCAB and the SIAP. I will forward you to Attorney Matienzo, ED Matienzo, who is the head of the SIAP and PCAB, to explain further. He's not here now. Maybe, syempre maraming ano ngayon because of the flood control, no? But for PCAB and SIAP, what our main the main mandate is to give the license to these